The stars above Boston shimmered like diamond dust as Dr. Alice Morgan stepped onto the roof of the CDC building. She pulled her lab coat tighter against the night air and checked her watch. 3 minutes until the astronomical event everyone had been talking about would begin. She wasn't the only one watching. Across the country, millions of people waited with telescopes and cameras pointed at the sky. Scientists had detected something unusual approaching Earth, something that defied explanation. Some called it a comet. Others whispered about aliens. Alice knew better than to speculate without data. At exactly midnight, a bright point of light appeared near the moon. It grew steadily larger, moving with purpose rather than following any natural trajectory. Alice's heart raced as she realized this was no meteor or space debris. This object was under intelligent control. Miles away at NORAD headquarters, Commander Jack Davis stared at multiple screens showing the same object. His team of analysts worked frantically, running calculations and checking sensor data. The thing wasn't just approaching Earth, it was slowing down. "Sir, it's establishing orbit," Lieutenant Karen Hill reported, her voice tight with tension. 300 miles up, stable position over North America. Jack picked up the red phone that connected directly to the Pentagon. "This is Commander Davis. We have confirmation of an artificial object in Earth orbit. Recommend immediate protocol activation." The next morning, the world woke to news that changed everything. An alien probe had arrived, broadcasting a message in every known Earth language. The transmission was simple but profound. "We come in peace. We bring mourning." At the United Nations, diplomats scrambled to respond. Dr. Morgan found herself summoned to an emergency meeting, her expertise in infectious diseases suddenly crucial. She sat in a room filled with world leaders, military officials, and fellow scientists as they played the full alien message. A holographic figure appeared above the conference table, humanoid but clearly not human. Its skin was pale blue, its eyes too large, its fingers too long. "I am Ambassador Zyloth of the Galactic Council," it said. "We have monitored your world for centuries. Now we must warn you of a great danger." The ambassador explained that a disease known as void fever was spreading across the galaxy. It had already destroyed dozens of civilizations, leaving empty worlds in its wake. The Council had come to study Earth's biosphere, hoping to find something that might help develop a cure. Alice listened carefully, taking notes. Something bothered her about the timing. Why arrive now? Why not send this warning years ago? She raised her hand during the question period. "Ambassador Zyloth," she said, "when exactly did your probe enter our solar system?" The alien hesitated before answering. 3 of your months ago. We needed time to ensure proper translation protocols." Alice frowned. 3 months was plenty of time for contamination. If this void fever was so deadly, what safeguards had they taken? Commander Davis had similar concerns. Back at NORAD, he ordered continuous monitoring of the probe. Energy readings showed it was doing more than just broadcasting. It was releasing microscopic particles into the upper atmosphere. "Get me a sample," he told his science team. "I want to know exactly what that thing is dropping on us." Within days, strange reports began filtering in from hospitals worldwide. Patients were arriving with symptoms unlike anything doctors had seen before: black veins spreading across their skin, organs shutting down one by one, death coming within 48 hours. Alice examined tissue samples from the first victims. Under her microscope, she saw cellular structures breaking apart at impossible speeds. This wasn't a natural disease. This was engineered. "My God," she whispered to her colleague Sam Brooks. "They didn't come to warn us. They brought it with them." As the first wave of infections spread across major cities, humanity faced a terrifying truth. The universe's deadliest disease hadn't just found Earth by accident. Someone had delivered it to their doorstep. The emergency meeting at the UN had turned into chaos. Ambassador Zyloth's hologram flickered as angry delegates shouted questions. Dr. Alice Morgan sat quietly, studying the aliens' reactions. She noticed how its large eyes never quite met anyone's gaze directly. Please, please, Xyloth raised its long-fingered hands. You must understand. The void fever moves faster than light itself. We came as quickly as we could. General Peter Hayes slammed his fist on the table. Yet you managed to arrive just as the disease appears on Earth. Quite the coincidence. Alice caught the slight twitch in Xyloth's facial muscles. The alien was lying, and not very well. She pulled out her tablet and showed her findings to the committee. The molecular structure of this disease is unlike anything in nature. It's been designed to target specific genetic markers. Dr. Sam Brooks stood beside her, adding his own research. We've traced the infection patterns. They all originate from areas directly beneath the probe's orbital path. Xyloth's hologram wavered. You misunderstand. The probe merely detected the disease already present. Stop, Alice interrupted. Your own transmission logs show particle emissions starting the moment you entered orbit. You brought this plague to Earth. The room fell silent. Xyloth's form straightened, its demeanor changing from diplomatic to cold. The Galactic Council determines which species are worthy of survival. Consider this a test. Before anyone could respond, the hologram vanished. The probe continued its orbit, now openly releasing clouds of infectious material into the atmosphere. Within hours, major cities reported thousands of new cases. The disease spread unlike anything in medical history. Victims developed black veins within 6 hours, organ failure by 12, and death before 48. Hospitals overflowed with the dying. Alice worked around the clock at the CDC, desperately searching for answers. The pathogen defied every treatment they tried. Antibiotics, antivirals, even experimental gene therapies. Nothing slowed its progression. Look at this, Sam called from his microscope. The virus isn't just killing cells, it's rewriting them. Alice peered at the sample. The pathogen was indeed altering human DNA, but not randomly. It seemed to be searching for something specific. In New York, Dr. Lisa Chen made a startling discovery. Some patients were surviving longer than others. She collected data on these outliers and found a pattern. They all shared certain genetic markers related to immune response. Commander Jack Davis coordinated military efforts to shoot down the probe, but every missile mysteriously malfunctioned before impact. The alien technology was far beyond Earth's capabilities. We can't stop it from above, he told President Williams in a secure bunker. We need to focus on saving who we can below. Quarantine zones were established around major cities. Soldiers in hazmat suits patrolled empty streets while drones delivered supplies to those trapped inside. The global economy collapsed as fear gripped the world. Then came the first miracle. A young teacher named Julie Park in Seattle survived past the 48-hour mark. Then 72. Then a week. Alice flew out immediately to study her case. I felt like I was dying, Julie explained from her hospital bed. The pain was unbearable. But then something changed. My body started fighting back. Blood tests revealed Julie's immune system had done the impossible. It had adapted to the alien pathogen. Her antibodies were actively destroying the virus. Alice shared the findings with colleagues worldwide. More survivors emerged. A firefighter in London, a farmer in Brazil, a student in Tokyo. All shared similar genetic markers and the same story of their bodies somehow overcoming the disease. The aliens made a mistake. Alice told Sam over a video call. They designed this plague to be perfect, but they didn't account for human genetic diversity. Some of us have natural resistance. As the death toll climbed into the millions, hope emerged from the survivors. Scientists raced to understand how their bodies had beaten the unbeatable disease. The Galactic Council had delivered humanity's greatest challenge. They just didn't realize they'd also given Earth the key to its own salvation. 3 weeks into the pandemic, Earth resembled a ghost planet. Empty streets stretched through once bustling cities. The lucky ones stayed indoors, waiting for news of a cure. The unlucky ones filled mass graves that grew larger each day. Dr. Alice Morgan hadn't slept properly in days. She worked in a sealed lab at the CDC, studying blood samples from survivors. Her own hands shook as she prepared another slide. She'd started showing symptoms yesterday, the telltale black veins creeping up her arms. "Alice, you need to rest," Sam Brooks said through the intercom. He watched her from the observation room, concern etched on his face. "Can't stop now," she replied, her voice hoarse. "We're so close to understanding this." She injected herself with another experimental treatment, the 15th she tried. Nothing worked. The fever burned through her body as she continued working, determined to find answers before the disease claimed her. Outside, Captain Lisa Torres led supply runs through Atlantis' quarantine zone. Her team wore full protective gear as they distributed food and medicine to survivors. The streets were littered with abandoned cars and belongings dropped by people fleeing the outbreak. "Captain, we've got movement in Sector 7, her radio crackled. "Looks like looters." Lisa sighed. Desperation brought out the worst in some people. "Copy that. Moving to intercept." At a makeshift hospital in Chicago, Dr. Eric Peterson noticed something strange. Some patients who seemed certain to die were suddenly recovering. Their black veins faded, their organs began functioning again. It made no medical sense. "Get me their files," he ordered his staff. "Every detail, age, ethnicity, medical history, everything." The pattern emerged slowly. The survivors weren't random. They shared specific genetic traits, particularly in their immune systems. Eric sent his findings to research centers worldwide, including Alice's lab. Alice received the data just as her vision began to blur. The fever had reached 104 degrees. She knew she had hours at most. With trembling fingers, she compared her own DNA profile to the survivor data. "Sam," she called weakly, "I don't have the resistance markers." "Hold on," Sam replied, already suiting up to enter the contaminated lab. Protocol be damned. He wasn't letting his friend die alone. As Sam prepared to break quarantine, Alice collapsed at her workstation. The virus ravaged her system, shutting down organs in sequence. But something unexpected happened. At hour 36, when she should have died, her body began to change. Her temperature suddenly dropped. The black veins started receding. Her failing organs sparked back to life. Sam watched in amazement through the glass as Alice's vital signs stabilized. "That's impossible," he whispered. "You don't have the genetic markers." Alice opened her eyes, feeling strangely energized. Unless the virus triggers something else, something dormant in human DNA. She dragged herself back to the microscope. Her own blood now contained antibodies unlike anything they'd seen before. They weren't just fighting the virus, they were evolving with it. News of Alice's recovery spread quickly. More impossible survivors appeared. People without the resistance markers who somehow adapted to the disease. Scientists worldwide began revising their theories. Dr. Mike Johnson at Stanford proposed a radical idea. What if humans have hidden genetic switches? Evolutionary fail-safes that activate only under extreme threat. Commander Jack Davis monitored these developments from his bunker. The alien probe continued its orbit, but its emissions had changed. It seemed to be scanning Earth more intensively, as if confused by humanity's unexpected resilience. "They didn't expect this," he told his team. "Whatever test they planned, we're failing it in ways they never imagined." Meanwhile, Alice studied her transformed blood cells. They had incorporated parts of the alien virus into their own structure, creating a hybrid immune response. Her body wasn't just fighting the disease, it was learning from it. As more people survived through this mysterious adaptation, hope returned to Earth. The aliens had unleashed their deadliest weapon, but they had awakened something ancient and powerful within human genetics. Humanity wasn't just surviving their test. They were evolving beyond it. The breakthrough came at dawn. Dr. Alice Morgan stared at her computer screen, hardly believing what she saw. The genetic analysis confirmed her theory. Humans possessed a hidden defense mechanism that activated only under extreme biological threat. "Sam, look at this," she called to her colleague. "I'm calling it the Phoenix factor. It's in all of us, but dormant until triggered by specific stress patterns." Sam Brooks examined the data. "So the virus doesn't just attack us. It accidentally wakes up something that's been sleeping in our DNA for millennia." Alice nodded. "And once activated, it doesn't just fight the current threat. It learns, adapts, and prepares for future ones." Across the Atlantic, Dr. Mike Johnson reached similar conclusions. His team at Stanford had mapped the genetic changes in survivors. The results were astounding. Human immune systems were incorporating alien viral code, creating hybrid defenses unlike anything seen before. "We're not just surviving," Mike explained in a video conference with research teams worldwide. "We're upgrading." Commander Jack Davis listened to these reports with growing suspicion. He'd been analyzing the probe's behavior and noticed something disturbing. Every time humans showed signs of adaptation, the probe's scanning intensity increased. "They're studying us," he told General Hayes. "This isn't just a test of survival. They're gathering data on how we respond." His tech team intercepted alien transmissions beamed from the probe to deep space. Though they couldn't decode the full message, certain patterns suggested alarm and confusion. The aliens hadn't expected this outcome. Meanwhile, Alice and Sam developed a treatment using antibodies from survivors. The process was complex. They needed to trigger the Phoenix factor without killing the patient first. "It's like jump-starting evolution," Sam explained as they prepared their first batch. "We're forcing the body to adapt before the virus can do fatal damage." Their first test subject was a young nurse named Beth Coleman. She'd been infected just hours ago, black veins already spreading across her skin. Alice administered the treatment and waited. The next 12 hours were tense. Beth's fever spiked dangerously high, her body convulsing as it fought the virus. But then, just as Alice had experienced, the change began. Beth's vitals stabilized. The black veins faded. Her body had successfully activated the Phoenix factor. News of the treatment spread hope across the globe. Production began immediately, though supplies were limited. Priority went to medical staff and essential workers who could help others. Commander Davis uncovered more troubling information. Hidden in the probe's data streams were references to previous civilizations, dozens of them, all destroyed by the void fever. Earth wasn't the first test subject, just the latest in a long line. "They've been doing this for thousands of years," he reported to world leaders, "wiping out potential threats before they can develop space travel." The alien strategy became clear. They used the plague to eliminate species that might one day challenge their dominance. No civilization had ever survived their test, until now. As more humans received the treatment, something unexpected happened. Those who survived didn't just return to normal. They showed enhanced healing, increased resistance to other diseases, even improved cognitive function. The Phoenix factor wasn't just a defense mechanism, it was an evolutionary accelerator. Dr. Lisa Chen documented these changes in recovered patients. Their cells regenerate faster. Their immune systems can identify and eliminate threats we've never seen before. It's like their bodies are preparing for challenges that don't exist yet. The alien probe's behavior grew erratic. It released new variants of the virus, each more aggressive than the last. But human bodies adapted faster than the aliens could modify their weapon. "They're panicking," Alice observed, watching the probe's energy signatures fluctuate wildly. They'd lost control of their own test. Humanity had done more than survive. They'd turned the aliens' weapon into a catalyst for their own advancement. The very plague designed to destroy them had instead unlocked their hidden potential. The tide was turning, and the aliens knew it. Production of the Phoenix treatment hit a critical bottleneck. Traditional pharmaceutical methods couldn't keep up with global demand. Millions still needed the cure, and time was running out. Katie Walsh, a biomedical engineer from MIT, proposed a radical solution during an emergency video conference. We need to think differently. What if we use 3D bioprinters to replicate the antibodies? The idea seemed impossible. Bioprinting was still experimental, mostly used for simple tissue samples. But Katie had modified several printers in her lab to handle complex proteins. "Give me 48 hours, she told Alice and the research team. "I think I can make this work." While Katie worked on her solution, the aliens grew desperate. The probe released mechanical drones into Earth's atmosphere. These insect-sized robots targeted medical facilities, trying to destroy vaccine production sites. Captain Lisa Torres found herself leading ground defense against these new threats. Her teams used electromagnetic pulse weapons to disable the drones, but more kept coming. "They're adapting too," she reported to Commander Davis. "Each wave is harder to stop than the last." Davis coordinated global military responses from his command center. "The probe is our real target. If we can't shoot it down, maybe we can hack it." His cyber warfare team had been working on breaking the alien encryption. They made progress when they realized the probe's systems were partially biological, similar to the virus itself. In her lab, Katie achieved a breakthrough. Her modified bioprinters successfully replicated the Phoenix antibodies. The process was faster and more efficient than traditional methods. "We can set up printing stations worldwide," she explained. "Local hospitals can produce their own supply." The plan spread quickly. Engineering teams everywhere began modifying 3D printers. Within days, thousands of printing stations came online, producing the cure at unprecedented rates. The aliens responded with larger attack drones. These fighter-sized craft descended on major cities, targeting infrastructure and medical facilities. But something unexpected happened. Humans who had undergone the Phoenix transformation showed remarkable abilities. Dr. Beth Coleman, one of the first treatment recipients, discovered she could sense the drones before they appeared. Her enhanced nervous system detected their electromagnetic signatures. "I can feel them coming," she told Captain Torres, "like a pressure in my mind." Other Phoenix survivors reported similar abilities. Some showed enhanced strength and reflexes. Others developed acute environmental awareness. The transformation was changing more than just their immune systems. Commander Davis used these enhanced humans to coordinate defense efforts. They could predict drone attacks and guide military responses with uncanny accuracy. The tide turned when Alice made another discovery. The Phoenix factor didn't just work on individuals, it could be transmitted. Those who recovered became carriers of the active factor, their very presence helping others activate their dormant defenses. "We're becoming immunologically connected," she explained to world leaders. "The more people transform, the stronger we all become." Cities implemented new strategies. Phoenix survivors worked in hospitals, their presence accelerating recovery in patients. The aliens' weapon had created a networked human immune system, each person strengthening the whole. Desperate, the aliens launched a final assault. Hundreds of drones swarmed Earth's major cities, but humanity was ready. Enhanced humans guided defense forces with perfect precision. Katie's bioprinters produced cure faster than the aliens could spread new variants. In space, Commander Davis's team finally cracked the probe's defenses. They discovered its core systems were biological, vulnerable to the very adaptations it had triggered in humans. "We can turn their weapon against them," Davis announced. "The probe uses similar genetic structures to the virus. Our antibodies might work on it too." Scientists launched modified Phoenix antibodies into orbit, targeting the probe directly. The effect was immediate. The alien systems began breaking down, corroded by the same defensive mechanisms they had forced humanity to develop. As the probe's systems failed, its transmissions became erratic. The last message it sent to deep space wasn't data or warnings. It was something resembling fear. Humanity hadn't just survived the test. They had become the test's masters. The disabled alien probe drifted powerless in orbit, its systems corrupted by human antibodies. Commander Jack Davis watched the feeds from mission control as recovery teams prepared to board the craft. "Be careful," he warned the astronauts. We don't know what other defenses it might have. The boarding team, led by astronaut Mark Rodriguez, approached cautiously. To their surprise, the probe's airlocks opened without resistance. Inside, they found technology beyond imagination. And something else. "Commander, you need to see this," Mark reported. "There's a database here. Records of every civilization they've tested." The data told a chilling story. For 50,000 years, the Galactic Council had systematically eliminated emerging species. None had survived their plague. None had even come close to developing resistance. On Earth, the transformation continued. Dr. Alice Morgan documented remarkable changes in Phoenix survivors. Their cells regenerated at incredible rates. Their minds processed information faster. Some even developed what could only be described as limited telepathic connections with other survivors. "We're evolving," she told a gathering of world leaders. "Not over generations, but in real time." The Phoenix factor isn't just defense, it's acceleration. The recovered alien database revealed why the Council feared emerging civilizations. They had once been challenged by a species that nearly defeated them. Since then, they eliminated any race showing similar potential. "They're not superior beings," Commander Davis explained to the UN Security Council. "They're terrified survivors, destroying others before they can become threats." Dr. Mike Johnson made another breakthrough. By studying the probe's biological components, he developed a vaccine that could permanently activate the Phoenix factor in all humans, even those who hadn't been exposed to the virus. "We can upgrade our entire species," he announced. "No more waiting for natural exposure. Everyone can have these enhancements." The rollout began immediately. Within weeks, millions received the Phoenix vaccine. The changes were remarkable. Disease rates plummeted. Injuries healed faster. Human capabilities expanded in ways previously thought impossible. Katie Walsh led efforts to reverse engineer alien technology from the probe. Her team discovered propulsion systems that could travel between stars, communication devices that worked instantly across vast distances, and energy sources that seemed to violate known physics. "They're centuries ahead of us," she reported. "But with our enhanced minds, we're learning fast." Captain Lisa Torres trained the first groups of enhanced soldiers. Their reflexes, strength, and tactical awareness far exceeded normal human limits. More importantly, they maintained perfect discipline and emotional control. "The transformation enhances everything," she noted, "including judgment and empathy. We're not becoming weapons, we're becoming better humans." 3 months after the plague began, Earth launched its first interstellar vessel. Built with combination of human ingenuity and alien technology, the ship could reach nearby star systems within weeks rather than centuries. The Galactic Council sent panicked messages demanding Earth cease its technological development. Their threats rang hollow now. Humanity had survived their worst weapon and emerged stronger. "We're coming," Alice broadcast in response. "Not for revenge, but to end your reign of terror. No more civilizations will die at your hands." The aliens attempted one final attack. They sent their military fleet toward Earth, armed with weapons that had destroyed worlds. But they encountered something unprecedented, a united humanity with capabilities they couldn't comprehend. Enhanced humans coordinated global defense with perfect precision. Earth's new ships, though fewer in number, outmaneuvered the alien fleet. The Phoenix factor had created more than immunity. It had forged a new kind of consciousness, where humanity acted as one while maintaining individual identity. They created their own doom. Commander Davis observed as alien ships retreated. By forcing us to evolve, they made us into exactly what they feared most. The Council's fleet withdrew, leaving behind damaged ships and confused crews. Some alien soldiers, exposed to human antibodies during battle, began showing signs of their own transformation. The plague meant to destroy humanity had instead birthed a new era. Earth stood ready to reshape the galaxy, not through conquest, but through healing. Captain Greg Miller stood on the bridge of humanity's first interstellar ship, the Unity. Around him, A crew of Phoenix-enhanced humans worked with perfect coordination. Their destination, the Galactic Council's homeworld. "All systems normal," reported his first officer, Elena Martinez. "We'll reach the Xanthar system in 12 hours." The journey that would have taken centuries with old technology now lasted mere days. The Unity led a fleet of 5 ships, each carrying diplomats, scientists, and peacekeepers. Their mission wasn't war, it was liberation. Dr. Alice Morgan worked in the ship's medical bay, preparing doses of the Phoenix cure. Her research had revealed something remarkable. The void fever existed on countless worlds, kept active by the Council to maintain control. "Every species they've conquered still carries the dormant virus," she explained to her team. "We can cure them all." As the fleet approached Council space, they encountered abandoned outposts and empty defense stations. The aliens had retreated to their core worlds, preparing for humanity's arrival. On the Council homeworld, panic spread through the crystalline cities. Ambassador Xyloth faced the High Chamber, trying to explain how their perfect weapon had failed. "The humans have done the impossible," Xyloth reported. "They've turned our play into an evolutionary catalyst. Now they come with powers we cannot match." The Council elders refused to accept defeat. They activated ancient weapons, planet-killing devices that had ended rebellions before. But when Earth's fleet arrived, something unprecedented happened. Captain Miller broadcast a message on all frequencies. "We come in peace. Lower your weapons and we'll help you as we've helped ourselves." The Council responded with massive energy beams that could crack planets. But the Phoenix-enhanced humans had developed shields based on their own biological defenses. The weapons that had destroyed worlds couldn't penetrate Earth's ships. "Their technology is based on fear," Commander Jack Davis observed from the Unity. "Ours is based on adaptation and growth. Fear always loses to hope." Instead of attacking, the human fleet deployed medical ships. They approached plague-ravaged worlds in Council space, offering the cure freely. Species that had suffered for millennia suddenly found themselves free of the virus. On Kethari Prime, blue-skinned humanoids emerged from underground shelters where they'd hidden for generations. The Phoenix cure not only eliminated their plague, but awakened their own dormant potential. Word spread across the galaxy. Oppressed species rose up, not in violence, but in transformation. The Council's control crumbled as their former subjects evolved beyond their power to dominate. Dr. Alice Morgan led medical teams to the Council homeworld itself. She found the ruling species weakened by their own paranoia, having used mild forms of the plague to control their population. "You've been poisoning yourselves," she told the Council elders, "keeping your own people weak to maintain power." Some Council members accepted the cure and underwent their own transformation. Others fled to remote systems, clinging to their old ways. The galactic order that had lasted 50,000 years dissolved in months. Captain Miller established the first interspecies medical station above the former Council capital. Species from across the galaxy came to receive treatment and share knowledge. "We're not conquerors," he declared in his first address to the liberated systems. "We're healers. The Phoenix factor belongs to everyone." The transformation spread beyond biology. Enhanced minds from different species connected, sharing culture and technology. The fear-based hierarchy of the Council gave way to a cooperative network of equals. Earth became the galaxy's medical center. Dr. Morgan's team developed variations of the Phoenix cure for each species, unlocking their unique evolutionary potential. The virus that had destroyed civilizations now served as a key to unlock dormant abilities in every race. As humanity took its place among the stars, they'd brought not weapons but medicine, not conquest but cooperation. The deadliest disease in the universe had failed to destroy them. Instead, it had shown them their true purpose: to heal the galaxy the Council had wounded for so long. 1 year after the plague struck Earth, the galaxy had transformed completely. The Terran Medical Alliance operated from a massive space station orbiting Earth, where beings from hundreds of worlds came seeking the Phoenix cure. Dr. Alice Morgan stood before the Intergalactic Assembly, accepting the first Peace Prize for her work. Beside her sat representatives from species once thought extinct, now thriving thanks to human intervention. "We didn't just survive," she told the gathered delegates. "We learned that our greatest strength was never in weapons or technology, but in our ability to adapt and to care for others." Former Commander Jack Davis, now Admiral of the United Fleet, coordinated peacekeeping operations across known space. His crews included members from every species touched by the Phoenix transformation. They worked together with a harmony the galaxy had never known. The old Council worlds flourished under new leadership. Ambassador Xyloth, transformed by the Phoenix cure, became one of humanity's strongest allies. His people, freed from millennia of fear, rediscovered their ancient culture of art and science. Katie Walsh led the technological exchange program, sharing innovations between species. Her bioprinting technology had evolved far beyond its original purpose, now capable of creating everything from medicine to spacecraft components. Every species brings unique perspectives, she explained to visiting students from across the galaxy. Together, we're achieving things none of us could imagine alone. Captain Lisa Torres commanded the first truly integrated military force. Her troops trained not for conquest, but for protection, responding to natural disasters and remaining threats from isolated Council loyalists. On Earth, cities had been rebuilt stronger than before. The Phoenix transformation had eliminated most diseases and extended human lifespans significantly. But the greatest change was in human consciousness itself. Children born after the transformation showed remarkable abilities. They learned faster, communicated more deeply, and displayed an innate understanding of other species. Some scientists believe humanity was still evolving, the Phoenix factor continuing to unlock hidden potential. Dr. Mike Johnson established the Galactic Medical University on Mars. Students from every corner of the galaxy studied there, learning not just medicine, but the philosophy of healing that had saved humanity. "The Council tried to destroy us because they feared what we might become," he told his first graduating class. "They were right to fear, but wrong about why. They feared our power. They should have feared our compassion." The void fever still existed in remote systems, but it no longer held terror. Medical teams treated it like any other disease, curable and manageable. The weapon that had destroyed civilizations became a footnote in medical textbooks. Former Captain Greg Miller retired from military service to become Earth's first galactic ambassador. He traveled between worlds, fostering connections and resolving disputes through dialogue rather than force. "We showed the galaxy a different way," he wrote in his memoirs. "Not the path of fear and control, but of growth and cooperation." The transformation continued to spread. Each species that received the Phoenix cure developed its own unique enhancements. The galaxy became a tapestry of diverse abilities, all working in harmony. Alice often reflected on the irony. The Council had unleashed their deadliest weapon to prevent humanity from reaching the stars. Instead, they had created the very future they feared, one where humans led not through dominance, but through healing. On the anniversary of First Contact, Earth hosted a celebration unlike any before. Ships from every known civilization gathered in the solar system. Where once there had been fear and death, now there was joy and life. The Phoenix factor had done more than save humanity. It had awakened something fundamental in every species it touched, the understanding that true strength came from unity, not division. As Alice looked up at the night sky, now filled with friendly ships instead of hostile probes, she smiled. The universe's deadliest disease had struck Earth, and humanity had indeed returned stronger. But their greatest strength wasn't in their enhanced bodies or advanced technology. It was in their ability to transform destruction into creation, fear into hope, and enemies into friends.